Alright, so the argument I'll be going against is from Nico. His claim was that television companies cannot currently solely survive on live television programming. And his secondary claims were that less people are watching less TV, that customers are becoming dissatisfied with their service, with their cable service, and that the third one was that the number of people watching online videos is increasing, and this is like diluting the customers that are still on their cable services. His last claim was that as this generation's youth goes into adulthood, that we're watching less and less TV. So my response to his first claim that less people are watching less TV, less people are watching TV, is that, well, Nico claims that people are watching less TV and that may be true, and he states that 250,000 subscribers ditched their cable company between 2012 and 2013 in July, between the year. And but how does this affect his claim? His claim is that they can't survive on traditional live television programming. And I don't think this affects his claim because looking at the Fortune 500 list, DirecTV is actually on number 105 in 2012, and in 2013 they actually go up 3 spots. Time Warner, they were 103. They were number 103, and they stood the same going into 2013. You would think that if 250,000 subscriptions were lost during that year, they would go down, but they actually either improved or stood the same. So that's why I don't agree with his first point. His second point, that cable TV customers are becoming dissatisfied with their service. I believe that, well, actually I quoted BGR.com where it says that, and it kind of makes sense if you just listen to this quote. Whenever you see an industry with high profits and low customer satisfaction ratings, it's a good bet that it doesn't face the same kinds of competitive pressures that most industries deal with on a regular basis. Pretty much, that's also going against his claim that they can't survive on traditional live television programming because, as this states, that they don't really have to fight for your business because they don't really have a lot of competition within each other within that industry, and so they don't really, like he claimed that customers are dissatisfied with the service. They don't really need to fight for your service, for your approval of their service. Another report by Ars Technica reports that cable companies could dramatically boost their service speeds starting today if they wanted to, but they won't because they're not facing any competitive pressure to do so in those markets. So that also relates. His third claim was that the number of people watching online videos is increasing, and that's further diluting the people that watch traditional television. I don't think there's a real relationship between the increasing amount of people who are watching Netflix or other online services and the number of people who are ditching cable. Obviously, when there's like similar services, one's gonna lean to the cheaper one probably, which is Netflix at this time. And but there's no correlation for people who are ditching Netflix or these online video services for cable. There wasn't like a study made that showed that these people are leaving Netflix they're leaving their cable TV service for Netflix. And also, I don't believe that, deriving off something Professor Kirkham said, he said that nobody's gonna go to Netflix to watch a baseball game because they don't have live TV. So I don't think that people are willing to let go of their whole cable service and their live TV rights to go watch something that's already pre-recorded, That might be an additional to whatever cable TV service they have, but I don't think they'll ditch one for the other. His last claim was that people between the ages of 12 to 24 are the lowest in terms of watching television, which I agree to, but if I wanted to ask you guys something, most of you guys are probably between the ages 18 to 24, there might be some exceptions, but how many of you guys have cable, if you could raise your hand? Okay. How many of you guys pay for your cable bill, like you? You guys pay for your cable bill? Oh, okay. So, okay, that didn't go how it was planned, but I'm thinking that as you grow older, there's more of a chance that you're going to pay for your cable bill, right? Do your parents when you were in high school too, wouldn't your parents pay for your TV service or whatever? It's kind of hard to put that big of a burden of a payment on a student, And as I look at the marketing charts that Nico included in the study, these age groups that he included, between 12 to 24 years old, they are the lowest TV watching group, but as you grow older and older, they're actually watching way more TV. From the 25 to 34 age group, it saw a significant jump to 27 and a half hours a week that they were watching TV. And as you grow even higher, they watched like almost 33 hours a week between the 35 to 49 age group. And these people, these 35 to 49 year old age group, are probably predominantly the people who are going to be like paying the bill. It doesn't really, a 12-year-old is not going to be paying the cable bill, you know, so it doesn't really matter how much TV he's watching. So in conclusion, to wrap things up, these companies are still afloat on the Fortune 500, and it doesn't look like, even with reduced subscriptions, that they're not going bankrupt or anything. They're still surviving, and if anything, they're actually increasing in the Fortune 500 list. Another thing is that cable companies make too much money, so they don't really need your customer service. They don't really care about what you think about the customer service because they don't really have a lot of competition, and they're going to stay afloat either ways. Netflix doesn't offer live programming, so people aren't going to ditch live television programming entirely to join Netflix for that purpose. And it also doesn't matter if younger people don't watch because they don't predominantly pay for the service. And that's the end of my argument. Thank you.
All right, the advocate's claims are labeled pretty clearly. You signpost on the first point, fine. The whole discussion about the cable systems and how they're doing, I thought that it was innovative of you to go and find the information about how the companies were ranked in the Fortune 500, and that worked pretty well. The notion that direct actually went up, I thought that was pretty effective. You did mention, for instance, that if they have high profits and low customer satisfaction, that they don't face competition. I do think that you need to show us that that's the case in these particular situations. I don't remember that the advocate provided that kind of evidence, and you're making it an assumption, so I think you need to give us a little bit of data on that they are, in fact, still very profitable. Not just their status in the Fortune 500, because they may have assets that makes them valuable, but for instance, is their profitability still up? Are they still making money? Are they increased their profits from the previous year, not just their status in the rankings there? I think that would be helpful. Also, I think that the notion that they have low customer service tends to suggest that they have room for improvement. That might have been another claim that you could make that says, look, if they've got low customer service and they're still managing to be profitable, imagine if they actually put some energy and activity into what they're doing and improved their product, their responsiveness to their customers, offered them the kinds of things that they really wanted more. There's no reason that they couldn't continue to succeed, and I think that that's maybe a line of reasoning that would make a little bit of sense there. The issue of dissatisfaction is partially explained. I like the explanation that you had about online watching, and it seems to me like there's a little bit of this correlation argument that you're making that's reasonable. We don't know that the people who are canceling their cable are the ones who are going over and watching online stuff. That's a reasonable challenge to make, but it seems to me like you make it like that's the most important issue on that point. I'm not sure that it is the most important issue. The bigger issue is whether or not, in general, the broadcaster or the cable companies can continue to sustain profits and maintain their market strategies with the current technologies or programming or system that they have. And I think a better argument would be that the advocate never gave any notion, any projection about when this is going to happen. In other words, when is it that CBS is going to disappear and collapse? When is it that Time Warner is going to have to sell off all their cable stuff or some other business model that's going on there? We don't have any trend that's going on. We don't have any year anticipation. We have some minor glitches in the road, but there's always a minor glitch in the road that comes along. I think that's the way to maybe respond to that point. I'm not sure I like the kind of way you went at it. It doesn't matter that the kids between 12 and 24 are watching the least, because when they get older, they'll watch more. That might be the case. Or it might be the case that people who are in those earlier patterns, as they get older, they just continue to watch as much as when they were their kids. You know, I think you're kind of going the opposite direction on the causality. Oh, they watch more TV as they get older, as opposed to older people just watch more TV because that's what they're used to doing. I'm not sure which is which, and you've kind of made the assumption that it's one way. If there was some reason to believe that, I think that would be helpful. And I think there are reasons to believe it. For instance, that people are more socially active when they're younger, and as they get older, they tend to stay at home more, which it makes them, you know, more likely to watch more television. Let's face it, when you are in your early 20s, you're going out and doing a bunch of things. You're going to parties, you've got social activities, concerts, all that kind of stuff that's going through. When you're in your 30s, you're doing a little bit less of that sort of thing, and so your recreation time is going to be, you know, taken up those things. Then I think maybe your argument would make a little bit more sense. That way, I think that's a way to maybe develop that. Wow, we spent a lot of time on that. Sorry.